God, I come to you today with this weight pressing down on my chest. This guilt that follows me from the moment I drop my children off until I return home exhausted at day's end. I struggle with the constant questions in my mind. Am I neglecting my children by working outside our home? Should I be there for every moment, every skinned knee, every homework question? The world pulls me in opposite directions, telling me to be fully present as a mother while also pursuing my career with excellence. I feel torn between providing financially for my family and providing emotionally in the ways I believe a mother should. Lord, in these moments of doubt, remind me that you see beyond my circumstances to my heart's deepest intentions. You know that every sacrifice I make, whether leaving for work or coming home tired but determined to be present, stems from love for the family you've entrusted to me. The enemy whispers that I'm failing at motherhood because I'm not physically present every hour. Those whispers become shouts when I miss a school event or when my child says they wish I could be home more. The guilt feels overwhelming then, crushing me with the weight of expectations I cannot possibly fulfill. I compare myself to other mothers who seem to have it all together, whether they work or stay home, and find myself lacking. Remind me, Lord, that comparison is the thief of joy and that you have called each of us to different paths, different strengths, different ways of nurturing our families. Help me release the idealized version of motherhood I've created in my mind and embrace the unique mother you created me to be. Show me that my worth as a mother isn't measured by minutes spent at home, but by the love that fills every moment we do share. I think of the Proverbs 31 woman, often held up as the ideal, a woman of noble character who works with eager hands, provides for her family, and manages her household with wisdom. She was a businesswoman who worked diligently outside her home. Yet she is praised, not condemned. Lord, help me see that working mothers have existed throughout history, finding ways to nurture their children while also using their gifts in the marketplace. Remind me that you have equipped me for this dual calling, that the skills I bring to my workplace and the love I bring to my home can both honor you. When I feel inadequate in both arenas, overwhelmed by trying to excel everywhere, whisper your truth to my heart, that your power is made perfect in my weakness, that your grace is sufficient for each day's challenges. The guilt intensifies when I see signs that my absence affects my children, when they cling a little tighter at drop-off, when they act out after I've been especially busy with work, when they ask why I can't be like their friend's mom who's always home. In those moments, I question everything about my choices. Lord, give me wisdom to discern when my children are simply expressing natural desires for connection versus when they truly need me to make changes in our family rhythm. Help me be fully present when I am home, putting away my phone, tuning into their hearts, creating moments of connection that transcend time constraints. Show me how to make our time together rich with meaning rather than rushed with tasks. And for the hours we're apart, help me trust that you are working in their lives, using other caring adults to shape them, developing their independence and resilience in ways that will serve them well throughout life. For those moments when I must explain to my children why I work, give me words that honor the truth without burdening them. Help me share the value of contribution, the dignity of work, the joy of using one's gifts to serve others. Let me model for my daughters and sons alike what it means to live with purpose both inside and outside our home. When financial necessity drives my work, help me communicate this reality with appropriate honesty while protecting them from adult worries. When passion for my career is also part of my motivation, help me demonstrate that God-given interests and talents deserve to be developed and shared. Through my example, may my children learn that following your call on their lives might require difficult choices and balancing acts, but that you provide strength for every challenge we face in obedience to you. I ask for wisdom to create boundaries that protect our family's well-being. Help me recognize when work threatens to consume too much of my emotional and physical energy, leaving insufficient resources for those I love most. Give me courage to communicate my limits in professional settings, even when doing so feels risky. Show me creative solutions for the seasons when work demands intensify, people to call upon, systems to implement, priorities to adjust. Remind me that saying no to certain opportunities might mean saying yes to my family's needs. At the same time, guard me against making hasty decisions driven by guilt rather than by your guidance. Some seasons require more professional focus, while others allow more family presence. Grant me discernment to navigate these changing rhythms with grace rather than constant second-guessing. For those who download the ebook, Don't Think, Trust and Surrender from our pinned comment, I pray it provides meaningful guidance for managing the anxiety that comes with balancing work and motherhood. May they find in those pages the permission to release perfectionistic expectations and embrace the beauty of surrendering their motherhood journey to you. Help them discover, as I am learning, that thinking less about what others expect and trusting more in your perfect plan brings freedom from the paralyzing effects of guilt. Remind all of us that surrendering our timeline, our culturally shaped ideals of success, and our need to control outcomes open space for your wisdom to guide our daily choices about work, family, and personal well-being. Lord, heal the wounds that deepen my guilt, words spoken by others who questioned my choices, cultural messages that created impossible standards, my own harsh inner critic that never acknowledges my successes. For each judgment I've internalized, replace it with your truth. When someone suggested I was selfish for pursuing work I enjoy, counter that with the reality that modeling purposeful living benefits my children. When I berate myself for missing bedtime due to a work commitment, remind me of the countless nights I've been there, reading stories and saying prayers. When I fixate on what I'm not doing right, shift my focus to what your grace is accomplishing through my imperfect efforts. Help me receive the same compassion I would offer a friend in my situation, extending to myself the grace you so freely give. I pray for the working mothers watching this video right now, carrying similar burdens of guilt and uncertainty. For the mother rushing between meetings while checking her phone for updates from the babysitter, give her peace. For the woman fighting tears in her office bathroom after missing her child's performance, comfort her heart. For the mom questioning whether her career ambitions make her selfish, assure her of your pleasure in the gifts you've given her. For the mother who has no choice but to work multiple jobs to support her family, provide supernatural strength and supportive community. Unite us in understanding rather than judgment, creating spaces where we can acknowledge the complex emotions of working motherhood without fear of criticism. Help us bear one another's burdens rather than adding to them through comparison or competition. Transform my guilt into gratitude, Lord. Instead of focusing on what my children might miss because of my work, help me thank you for what they gain. Resilience as they learn to adapt to different caregivers, appreciation for our time together precisely because it isn't unlimited, observation of a mother who contributes her talents to the world beyond our home. Rather than dwelling on my inadequacies, let me celebrate the unique strengths my work brings to my parenting. Perhaps greater patience because I have adult interaction, broader perspective from engaging with different worldviews, specific skills that enrich our family life. Show me how my professional experiences can become teaching moments, how my work ethic can inspire their approach to responsibilities, how my juggling act can demonstrate that with your help, difficult things are possible. I release the burden of perfect motherhood, recognizing it as an idol that steals my joy and distorts my understanding of your expectations. You do not demand flawless performance but faithful stewardship of the children, talents, and circumstances you've entrusted to me. On days when I feel I'm failing at everything, neither employee nor mother of the year, remind me that your measure of success differs from the world's. You see beyond productivity metrics and Pinterest perfect family moments to the heart that seeks to honor you in all things. Help me embrace the beautiful truth that you work through my limitations, not despite them. My children don't need a mother without struggles. They need one who models dependence on you through every challenge. In my weakness, may they witness your perfect strength at work. Lord, sanctify both my professional work and my mothering work as offerings to you. When I change diapers or create presentations, when I attend parent-teacher conferences or lead team meetings, when I cook dinner or complete projects, may all be done as unto you, with excellence and joy. Remove the artificial divide in my mind between sacred parenting duties and secular work responsibilities. Help me see how both arenas provide opportunities to love others, solve problems, create beauty, promote justice, and reflect your character in tangible ways. Where our culture would compartmentalize my identity into competing roles, help me integrate all aspects of who you've made me to be, bringing my whole self, professional skills, maternal instincts, and everything in between, to each context with authenticity and purpose. For the practical challenges of working motherhood, I ask for creative solutions and unexpected provisions. When childcare falls through, open doors to alternatives. When work demands collide with family needs, show me third options I haven't considered. When household responsibilities overwhelm me after long workdays, bring help from surprising sources. I pray specifically for my children's caregivers, whether daycare workers, teachers, family members, or babysitters, that they would provide loving attention and wise guidance during our hours apart. Give me discernment to select trustworthy people who support our family values. And for my husband/partner, I ask for unity in our approach to balancing work and family responsibilities, for open communication about changing needs, and for mutual support of each other's callings without scorekeeping or resentment. As I navigate each day's decisions about where to invest my limited time and energy, sharpen my sense of your priorities. Help me distinguish between urgent demands and truly important matters, between others' expectations and your assignments for this season. When I must choose between competing goods, a child's activity versus a work deadline, self-care versus household management, career advancement versus family flexibility, provide clarity that cuts through confusion. Give me courage to disappoint people when necessary while keeping commitments to what matters most. I release my need to be everything to everyone, acknowledging that even Jesus withdrew from endless demands to focus on his Father's specific purposes. Guide my calendar choices as acts of obedience rather than attempts to prove my worth through constant productivity. For the spiritual formation of my children, my deepest concern when guilt about working surfaces, I trust you as their ultimate parent. When I cannot be physically present for every moment of their days, I ask you to make your presence known to them in tangible ways. Surround them with people who reinforce the values we teach at home. In the gaps created by my absence, fill them with understanding beyond their years, with resilience that comes from navigating changing circumstances, with confidence in both your love and mine. Help me establish meaningful spiritual practices that anchor our family identity. Perhaps fewer but deeper than if I had unlimited time. Show me how to weave faith conversations into ordinary moments, making the most of car rides, bedtime routines, weekend activities, and spontaneous discussions that arise from life's challenges and joys. I pray for my workplace, for colleagues who understand family priorities, for policies that support working parents, for a culture that values results over face time. Where these don't exist, give me wisdom to advocate for changes that would benefit not just my family but all families represented in my company or organization. Help me be transparent about my boundaries without apologizing for having them, modeling healthy integration of work and life for others who may struggle silently with similar tensions. When workplace demands become unreasonable or harmful to family well-being, grant me discernment about whether to seek change from within, look for alternative employment, or adjust my family's financial expectations to allow different work arrangements. Through my example, may others find courage to align their work lives with their deepest values. Lord, on those days when guilt threatens to overwhelm me, when my child asks why I missed something important, when I'm too tired for quality connection at day's end, when other mothers' social media posts trigger comparison, draw me back to your truth. Remind me that you see each tear, understand each conflicted emotion, and love both me and my children with perfect wisdom. Help me apologize sincerely when my choices cause legitimate hurt, while refusing to take responsibility for unrealistic expectations or normal disappointments that are part of every child's growth. Guard my heart against the temptation to compensate for absence with permissiveness or materialism. Instead, show me how consistency in values, attunement to emotional needs, and integrity between words and actions create security for children regardless of how many hours we spend together. I recognize that different seasons bring different demands and opportunities. The intense needs of babies and toddlers gradually shift toward the more complex but less physically demanding challenges of school-age children. Elementary years eventually yield to adolescents seeking independence while still needing guidance. Help me reassess our family's work-life arrangement as these seasons change, remaining open to adjustments rather than clinging to patterns that no longer serve us well. Give me freedom from rigid thinking about what working motherhood must look like, inspiring creative approaches that might include job sharing, remote work, adjusted hours, sabbaticals, or career pivots. As my children's needs evolve and my own sense of calling develops, guide each recalibration with wisdom that considers all factors: financial, emotional, spiritual, and practical. For the spiritual attacks that intensify my guilt, I claim your protection and truth. When the enemy whispers that I've damaged my children by working, I counter with the promise that you work all things together for good for those who love you. When doubt suggests I've missed your best plan for my motherhood, I remember that your grace redeems every choice made in faithful obedience to current understanding. When shame tells me I'll never measure up to what my children need, I stand firm in the knowledge that you chose me specifically for these particular children, equipping me with exactly the combination of strengths and weaknesses that would drive us all toward dependence on you. I refuse condemnation that comes not from your spirit but from cultural ideals elevated to spiritual mandates. I embrace instead your perfect love that casts out fear and guilt. Lord, help everyone watching this video to leave with a powerful reminder of your grace for their journey as working mothers. May they feel the burden of guilt lifting as they embrace the truth that you see their hearts, understand their constraints, and work powerfully through their imperfect efforts. For those whose guilt stems from financial necessity that leaves no choice about working, bring special comfort and practical support. For those questioning whether their professional ambitions can align with devoted motherhood, provide clarity and confirmation. For those contemplating changes to their current work-family balance, grant wisdom for decisions that consider all factors beyond simplistic formulas. May each woman watching know beyond doubt that you have equipped her uniquely for the dual calling she navigates, and that your power is made perfect in the very weaknesses she most regrets. As I share my struggle with guilt through this prayer, I invite others to recognize they aren't alone in these complex emotions. If this message resonates with your heart, please share it with other working mothers who might need this same encouragement today. The weight of guilt is lighter when carried in community with others who understand. Together, we can reject the false narratives that set impossible standards and embrace the liberating truth that God works uniquely through each family's circumstances. Our children don't need perfect mothers. They need authentic women who model dependence on God's grace, who pursue their callings with passion while loving deeply, who demonstrate that a meaningful life includes both challenges and joy. Through our imperfect examples, may the next generation develop a healthier, more grace-filled approach to integrating faith, family, and work according to God's design. I close this time with you by surrendering my working mother journey completely into your hands. I release my grip on both my guilt and my defenses against it, choosing instead to receive your perfect peace that transcends understanding. I reject the lie that my worth as a mother can be measured by hours at home, and I embrace the truth that my value comes from being your beloved daughter, created for purposes you established before the foundation of the world. For this day and all the working days ahead, I claim your promise to strengthen me for everything you've called me to do. When I falter under competing demands, lift my eyes to see beyond immediate pressures to eternal perspective. Thank you for entrusting me with both these precious children and meaningful work beyond our home. May both arenas of service become offerings of worship that bring glory to your name and demonstrate your faithfulness to the watching world.